Hey everyone, it's Jason and this is your midweek cruise news update. And a Carnival passenger was caught stealing on social media. A passenger's dream cruise was ruined because of cruise airfare. And have you ever experienced your ship leaving port early due to a hurricane? So cruise story number one, and this is a bizarre one here, as John Heald, the brand ambassador for Carnival Cruise Line, posted this picture right here. And it's of a person in the airport that took the luggage mat. This luggage mat goes over the comforter when you show up to your cabin so you can unpack and you don't get your comforter dirty. They took it and were using it as a blanket for their legs in the airport. Someone took a picture of it, sent it to Carnival, and John Heald announced that they were charged because they stole that item. Can you imagine stealing a luggage mat and using it as a blanket? Now, I did a short on this, and check out this comment right here. So, obviously people think this is just fine. They don't understand that this is stealing. And here's the deal. Carnival doesn't need this kind of publicity. If they let every single person take their luggage mat on every cruise, it would cost them millions of dollars. Think about 27 ships, and let's just say they run an average of once a week, and we know many of them run more than that. Can you imagine how many luggage mats they would have to replace? What do you guys think about this one? Can't wait to hear from you in the comments. So cruise story number two, and cruise airfare strikes again. And I hope this is a lesson for everyone. So a gentleman told his story about how his group was getting on a Greenland cruise, bucket list type cruise, and they had about an hour flight to the embarkation port. Thought that was no big deal, and they were flying in the day of. Now, he bought cruise airfare through Norwegian. He said they showed up to the airport, and there was a huge line to check in. So much so that it was a mess, basically, and he said that they missed their flight. So they put him on another flight. They called Norwegian, told them about it, and they put him on another flight, and they were going to get to their embarkation port at 12:30. Well, that flight was canceled. So they missed their cruise. Now, they stayed over in a hotel because they wanted to see if they could catch another flight to the next embarkation port. But Tropical Storm Debbie happened. And so they missed their cruise completely. Now, understand this was Norwegian Cruise Line. Now, what Norwegian Cruise Line does is they offer a program many times called Free at Sea. And airfare sometimes is free in it. Sometimes it's buy one, get one free. So they're trying to put you on the cheapest flights to get you there as low as possible. So understand this. Insist on flying in the day before your cruise at least. And if they won't do that, buy your own airfare. It's just not worth it. Now see, people have said, well, it was only an hour flight. Why wouldn't you have just picked up and drove? And they were like, well, we didn't know it would be a problem until we showed up. And then the next embarkation port was further away. It was the first stop. They couldn't make it to there. How sad is that? They missed their dream cruise. Now, what is thankful, though, is they had insurance. But they said the insurance wouldn't give them credit for that long line. Even though he said it was at a snail's pace, they couldn't get through it. So they gave them 75% credit, including any of the hotels they stayed in, food, extra things like that. It's better than nothing, but he said, lesson learned, yes, it's on me, but I will never fly in the day of my cruise. What do you guys think about this? Do you fly in the day before your cruise? So before I get to cruise story number 3, I would ask that you like this video, as it does help the channel grow. Also, since we hit our 100,000 subscribers, thank you so much, let's put out a new goal. 120,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If you can help me out with that, I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much. So cruise story number 3, and has this ever happened to you? Imagine you're in one of the port of calls, you're having a great time on an excursion, and you find out you have to be back 2 hours earlier because of deteriorating weather from a hurricane. Well, that is what happened on the Carnival Magic in Grand Turk because of Hurricane Ernesto. Now, it's strengthening. It's getting closer than Grand Turk than they thought. So everyone needed to be back. So John Heald announced it on his Facebook page. Apparently there was other announcements in the app, and apparently the ship's horn went off. So there was multiple ways they were warning people. Also, the locals know. They're going to be able to tell people. They're going to communicate that. So thankfully, everyone did get back on board. Passengers are saying all were aboard, and we were able to leave at 2:30 to get away from the weather. Now, understand, a lot of people out there were like, this is terrible customer service, or this is unacceptable, posting this on Facebook. But John Heald has a huge following. Many people watch that when they're on their cruises, and you are cruising during hurricane season. Things do come up like this. Have you ever experienced anything like this? And one thing to note is this might not be Carnival's situation or fault at all. But it might be the port of call telling Carnival, hey, you know what? This could be a situation. We want to make sure you're not in port, so we're going to close it early. Many of the cruise lines, all of them are at the mercy of the port of calls. If they close the port, they can't do nothing about it. They have to leave. Have you ever experienced something like this? Let me know in the comments. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much again for the support. It really does mean a lot to me. And until I talk to you this weekend, happy cruising.